What is going on, everyone? This is Jarrett from Your Real Estate Wiz, and in this video we're going to go over the cost of living in Cary, North Carolina. Is it still affordable, or has that ship sailed? Let's find out right now. So let's start off with an overall macro perspective of North Carolina. So as you see in this chart right here, North Carolina has a net increase in adjusted gross income from 1985 to 2018. And it's still growing. We just don't have all the data in this chart here. But good news is a net increase of $40.7 billion, which means money's flowing into the state. And you can see from where it's coming in this chart is predominantly from the Northeast. And with that are, of course, with the income is coming population. So from that time period, just under 900,000 people have come into North Carolina from surrounding states. And along with the job growth I just mentioned, Apple has just announced that a new campus and tech hub will be coming to the Raleigh, North Carolina area. So that is, again, awesome news for North Carolina in job growth, which is going to create 3,000 new jobs in artificial intelligence, software engineering, and other jobs of the such. They say at least 3,000 new jobs. So you can imagine some other people are going to be coming from out of state as well. All right, so let's get down to the brass tacks. Literally, taxes. Everyone's favorite.
Nope.
So the combined state and local tax for North Carolina on the average is 6.98% sales tax. So we're going to break this down a little further. If you are in Wake County, which is where the majority of Cary is, some of it spills over into Chatham, but there is a Wake County tax. So when you add up the North Carolina tax, the Wake County tax, you are now at 7.25% sales tax. So this is going to be 4.25% for clothing. So clothing is taxed in North Carolina. You are also going to see a 9% tax on prepared foods. You guys can check it out in the chart right there. That rounds out the sales tax for the most common items in North Carolina. And now moving on from sales tax, we have individual state income tax. So in North Carolina, it is a flat fee across the board for income levels. So for 2019-2020, it was 5.25%. So no matter what your income was, it is a flat 5.25% across the board. Now let's take a look at this graph that compares the cost of living overall on an index. And we're comparing Cary to North Carolina to the US national average. So everything you see in the US column is going to be 100 out of 100. Anything above 100 is more expensive. Anything under 100 is going to be cheaper. So let's dive in. So overall cost of living, you see Cary comes in at a 115, which is higher than the national average across the board. But then you look and you see that North Carolina itself is under. And this is because Cary is a very desirable area because it's in Research Triangle Park, which is where the majority of the tech jobs in the area are. Next, we go into groceries. So in Cary, groceries are going to be a little more expensive than the national average, but this all depends on where you like to do your food shopping. So for example, if you go to Lidl or Food Lion, you're going to be spending a lot less than if you were to go to Whole Foods or Fresh Market, which, oh, by the way, Fresh Market was just voted the best supermarket in America. So pretty cool that that is home to North Carolina. Next, we have health. So health is a little cheaper in Cary than the national average. And just to give you an idea of these costs, we have a little breakdown you can see right here. So you can see on average a doctor's visit is just under $114 per visit. A dentist visit is going to be just under $100. Optometrist, just over $100 at $106.75. A vet visit, which is just under $55. And last but not least, we have prescription drugs. So the average prescription drug price is $453. So next, moving down the list, probably one of the most important and what you have been waiting for are housing costs. So for the above reasons I mentioned about its location and its center to jobs, Cary is a little higher than the national average. The median home price in Cary is $370,000, and we'll dive into a little more of the comparisons and what you get for that amount of money a little later, so make sure you stick around. Next, we have utilities. So utilities are going to be a little cheaper than the national average. Transportation is below the national average. And last but not least, miscellaneous. So I don't know, anything else you can think of that's not in those categories, it's a little cheaper than the national average. So another pro. So we're gonna do another chart, and if you stick around, we are gonna show you all the websites and links so you can compare where you live right now to the Cary area. So stick around. We are gonna compare a home in northern New Jersey that is about 35-40 minutes from New York City in Bergen County. So when we compare these two, we see drastic differences than Cary. And considering Cary is one of the higher price points, it still does not compare to what we see in this example. So let's take a look. So overall cost of living, we're gonna compare it to a home in Ramsey. Ramsey comes in at $155. Again, 100 is the national average, and Cary was 115. So there's still a big spread of cost of living between these two towns. Now the real kicker and the most important thing, which I wanted to emphasize, is the median home price. So the median home price in Ramsey is just under $560,000. Now, what you get for that $560,000 is, again, it ranges, but you're gonna get a home built in the 1950s, and then in this example, it was 1,800 square feet. So now compare that to the median in Cary, $370,000. That's a big difference, but here's another kicker. So in Cary, you're gonna get a newer home. Most of the construction was in the 90s and is still going on today. It's still developing area. So in the example we took, the home was built in 2006 and it is 2,400 square feet. So you're getting a newer, bigger home for $188,000 less. And even better are property taxes. So the property taxes on the Ramsey house were just under $14,000 a year. That's nothing to just push away. So the home in Cary on a $370,000 house, you're paying under $3,000 a year in property taxes. If you can't afford a home or that's not your thing, roughly 30% of Cary is rentals. So you can still find rentals, although it's only about a 1.5% vacancy rate right now. So it might be a little tough to find, and rental prices might be a little inflated right now. But again, as new construction continues to be built, more places to live will pop up. So with rental prices, obviously there's a lot of variability, location, where it is, what the amenities are, how many bedrooms, but you can find a rental, one bedroom, starting at around $1,000, give or take a couple hundred on each end. You can find a 4-bedroom townhome, for example, for just north of $2,000 a month. And you're gonna find everything else in between, but just to give you a little idea, those are the ranges you're looking at. If Cary is where you love to live, depending on where you're coming from, it might be a lot cheaper, especially if you're coming from New Jersey. So last but not least, as I mentioned, all of the websites that we used in this video are down in the description below. So you'll be able to click on those, put in where you live, and you'll be able to compare. So again, if you found this video helpful, shoot us a like button, give us a big old thumbs up. And if you have any questions, Or if you're thinking about pulling the trigger and relocating to Cary, shoot us a call, text, or email at the info right here. All right, thanks everyone.